Whether you're a guitar player that's just starting out or you're a seasoned player on a limited budget, finding your tone is an important part of the journey. What if I told you that you could have everything you need to craft your individual tone for less than $500 US? Find out how right here. The guitar world is an expensive place to live. If you add up the cost of individual effects pedals common in praise and worship music, pedal board, amp and speaker cabinets, you're looking at thousands of dollars. So how can you get these big ambient swells, the huge reverbs, the beautiful cleans and the smooth overdrives of modern praise and worship music without breaking the bank? That's where the Line 6 Pod-Go comes in. This is my first video in a series on the Pod-Go, which is an amp modeler and multi-effects processor that uses the same modeling technology as the Helix, which costs almost $1,700 new. In fact, the best way to describe the Pod-Go is as a baby Helix. Most of the amps and effects are the same, but the Pod-Go has about half the processing power. The Pod-Go also starts for $479, but wait a minute, you said this was a budget option. That's almost $500. As long as your church has a sound system, the Pod-Go is an all-in-one system. It plugs directly into the soundboard and doesn't require any amp, which also helps eliminate stage volume if your church uses in-ear monitors. One of the most popular amps in praise and worship world is a Vox AC30, which starts at about $899. Mid-range effects pedals tend to run about $150 each. When you add the delay, the reverb, overdrive, chorus, tuner, volume pedal, and compressor, you're looking at over $1,000. And then you still have to buy a pedal board to mount it all and all the cables to tie them in.
Here's some examples of some traditional pedal boards. The first comes to us from Diaz over at the Effects Loop podcast. Go check him out too. The second comes from Mason Johnson, and the third from Blake Jung. Thanks for the pictures, guys.
So for a basic setup on a decent guitar rig that can make all the sounds you need, you're already over $2,000. But for $479, you can have all those capabilities and then some, and from a budget standpoint, it's a great buy. If you do home recording or if you record your worship team, the Pod-Go is also an audio interface, which means you just plug it into the computer with the included USB cable, and that allows for direct recording straight into any digital audio workstation. So what are the pros and cons of a Pod-Go? The Pod-Go is a very portable solution. It easily fits in a backpack. It has a solid metal chassis, a built-in expression pedal, and a mid-sized LED screen. The color LCD screen is large enough for most people to be able to read it pretty easily, and the color-coded buttons on the chassis, they make it easy to tell which effects you're controlling when you're in Stompbox mode, which emulates a traditional pedal board. The Pod-Go comes with Pod-Go Edit, which is the software that allows you to easily edit patches, presets, and updates. The Line 6 website also has a section called Custom Tones, which has hundreds of user-created presets available for free download. You can also purchase some incredible presets from worship tutorials, Alex Strabala, David Hislop from Bethel, and several others. If you want modern praise and worship sounds without the hassle of creating them, this is just a really easy option. You can also use the built-in cabinet models, or you can download custom impulse responses. Those are basically just a sound representation, a simulation of a specific cabinet and microphone combination. If you're getting value out of this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. That helps me get these videos in front of more beginner and budget-minded worship leaders. Hit subscribe if you want to see more gear breakdowns like this, and see future videos where I dive deep into many options of the Pod-Go. And hit that bell icon so you don't miss a video. The only real downside I've found with this pedal is the lack of digital signal processing, or DSP. You have to be really careful with which effects you stack together, or you'll end up with less options as you go. But this can work to your advantage too by forcing you to be more creative. And this part is very subjective, and keep in mind I'm only speaking from my personal opinion. The built-in presets, they're okay for the most part. There are very few factory presets that I like enough to use, but mostly due to my style and my preference, I tend to stick with custom presets. So do you prefer to create your own sound, or do you prefer to have a plug-and-play solution? Answer down in the comments. So what does this thing sound like? Here's a few short playing examples using different patches that I've created. There's a link down below to where you can get these patches for free. There's also an affiliate link where you can buy a Pod-Go from Amazon. I think the Pod-Go does swells really well for a pedal in this price range. And it's only missing a few of the effects from the Helix due to not having enough DSP to run them. One of the tones that's missing is the tone Sovereign, which models a king of tone. It does have the heir apparent, which models the prince of tone, and that's probably my favorite overdrive. I use it in almost all of my patches. And there's a bunch of options for clean tones too. Okay, maybe not the best example, but they will always be my favorite. There's limitless possibilities for tones in this unit, and for $479, I personally can't think of a better modeler or multi-effects processor at its price point. This is my go-to all-in-one rig, and I use it on a daily basis. I've used it live, I use it for practice, and I use it for recording. I definitely recommend it. Now, if you have any questions about the Pod Go or how to build patches, feel free to comment down below, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. And be sure to subscribe if you're thinking about getting a Pod Go, or if you have one and you need ideas for presets. I'm also making free presets available. Also, check out these videos where I review more music gear and offer tips and tricks to leading better worship on a budget. I'll see you in the next video.